back to Normski TV. I'm just doing a preview of review of the Arsenal Sheffield United game. I'm doing player ratings. I'm going to be quick. Basically, it's another draw. I was watching the game in the watch along, and I was saying to my son that we need to get this second goal. Even he was saying it as well. We need to get the second goal. Sheffield United. The first 10 minutes of the game, they looked the better side until we slowly started to get in the game. But what I found from the game was that because it's Sheffield United doesn't mean to say that we can't come out, playing on the front foot. And I just felt that we were just knocking the ball around, and we didn't really get into the game. And to be honest, the goal, which was well taken by Gabriel, should I say, or Gabrielli, whatever his name is, was taken well. We go in at half time 1-0 up against the run of play. I was just thinking Lacazette had one of those games again where he just lack a threat basically. Worked hard for the team, but in front of goal, not producing at all. And then we come out second half, which was probably a better half than the first. A bit more urgency, kind of more pressing into the game, and for want of trying, we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. I had a couple of chances, but just couldn't do it. There was a chance where I think Pepe made a brilliant run and could have squared it. I think he did square it, but he didn't make the player. I can't remember who was running in the box at the time, but we just didn't do what we needed to do. So 10 minutes to go, 83rd minute. That's when I say in that 10 minutes, Sheffield came back into the game. They made a couple of substitutions, also changed their formation. And the thing about Arteta, the only thing I would say with Arteta is that he really needs to make quicker substitutions. He's making them too late in the game. I thought he should have brought on Ceballos, who's a bit more of a creative and player in place of Ozil. Ozil in patches was okay, but for most of the game, for me, from what I was watching, he just seemed anonymous, especially in the first half. Didn't really see much from him. Second half, he came into the game a bit, but you should have taken him off and replaced him with Ceballos. So he only made one change, and that was taking off Lacazette and bringing on Nketiah. And you could just see that, with Nketiah, he just lacked a little bit of experience. When he needed to hold the ball up, he didn't. And just so, it is what it is. So all in all, a very disappointing result. Not the result that I was looking for. It means now, we're still, I think we're lying in 10th place on a minus 2 goal difference, and it's just sort of messed up the whole weekend really. But nevertheless, I'm going to just go on and talk about the player ratings, and I'm going to start off with Leno in goal. To be honest, he didn't really have much to do as such. Thing about Leno, which annoys me about him, is when he kicks the ball out, he doesn't never ever find a man. His distribution of the ball is just terrible. There are a couple of times where he did play the ball out early in terms of bowling it out to outfield players and to try and get the play going quick. But all in all, I'm going to give Leno a 6. Ainsley Maitland-Niles playing at right back. First half, I'll just say it was just pretty bang average from him. Nothing spectacular. Thing about Maitland-Niles, I know Arteta's got him coming in and tucking in tight when he picks up the ball to make up that extra man in midfield. But sometimes he just needs to get back out, and I think he was probably maybe at fault for the goal when we conceded in the 83rd minute. Just needed to put his foot in. So I'm going to give Ainsley a 5. Being harsh, but that's what I'm going to give him. I'm going to give Ainsley Maitland-Niles a 5. Moving across, Mustafi. I would probably say Mustafi was probably the best of the bunch in terms of the defence. Was a little bit shaky in the first half. There was a time when he was trying to shepherd the ball out, and he ended up getting pushed off the ball, and the Sheffield United player, not say almost scored, but he was able to try and get the ball into the box. Other than that, he made a few interceptions, some tackles, some crucial tackles, and he had an okay game. Obviously, when Sheffield United equalised, he kind of went back into his shell and started doing the stupid things that Mustafi always does. So I'm going to give Mustafi a 7. I'm going to give Mustafi a 7. Moving across to David Luiz. He was okay. Nothing special. Done his job. I'm going to give David Luiz a 6. And then moving across to the left back, Saka. Did okay. I like his foraging forward, and I think he was the one that put in the cross for Gabriel to score. So I'm gonna give Saka also a 7 as well. I'm gonna give Saka a 7. I'm gonna give him a 7. Moving into the centre of the midfield pairing, Torreira. I think Torreira for me was the man of the match. His interceptions, just keeping the ball ticking over, and just his work rate. Really like that about him. Made some good interceptions and some vital tackles. So I'm going to give Torreira an 8. That's what I'm going to give Torreira an 8. Next to him was Xhaka. He had, I'd say, first half he was, at the start he was a little bit, I think he was a little bit slow with his passing. There was one instance where he played a pass and it was the typical Xhaka pass, and I think it was in a dangerous position, and he ended up giving the ball away. But he kind of grew into the game, and there was a couple of times where he foraged forward and found a couple of players with his long passes. I'm going to give Xhaka a 6. I'm going to give Xhaka a 6. Let's move on to Pepe. Pepe playing out the right. Again, he didn't play too bad. One thing I said about Pepe is that he needs to be more direct. He's a very skillful player, but sometimes rather than stopping and cutting back, sometimes he just needs to just drive at their defence. And at the same time he's driving at the defence, you use the skills that you have, you know what I mean? Because a couple of times you sold some man for some dreams there, but you need to pick that ball up and make those sort of forward runs, and your final ball, just I like your crossing. Your crossing is fantastic, but it's just that final ball. It's just that final ball, and also it's just to kind of make yourself available, to score a goal basically. Because right now we're lacking in that department. It's only Aubameyang, and as you can see from today, if it wasn't for Gabriel, if he wasn't on the pitch, I don't think we would have got a goal today. So Pepe, I'm going to give Pepe also a 6. In the hole was Ozil, and today for me, when you're expecting your talisman to turn up in a game like this, even though it's Sheffield United, you're the one that's meant to be pulling the strings. And I didn't really see that much from him. When I was watching the game, there was times where I didn't hear him. I think he laid off the ball to the build-up of the goal, and that was maybe for me the only sort of contribution he made. Just wasn't really. He just kind of faded, and you just didn't really hear much from him. We're paying this guy 350 grand a week. He has no goals, no assists, and it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. I'm going to give Ozil 4. I'm going to give Ozil a 4. Martinelli scored the goal, very industrious, worked hard, ran at their defence, got into some real good positions. There were some times where he just sort of rushed a little bit. When he got that final ball, he rushed it a little bit, but he got himself in some real good position. He's a very strong player, but every now and again he gets pushed off the ball, and sometimes he just needs to release the ball just a little bit earlier. But other than that, the fact that he got the goal, I'm going to give Martinelli a 7. And then up front, Lacazette. What's going on, mate? What is going on? You work tirelessly for the team, but I was talking to my mate earlier on in the day, and he was saying, "Don't worry, Lacazette will stay in the box and be that fox in the box." But he was coming too deep. He was almost doing Ozil's job, coming deep for the ball, and maybe that's why Ozil was in the game. I just don't know. He just seemed to be coming too deep for the ball, and then when he does receive the ball, he has to have 1 or 2 touches, and then he's the type of guy, he holds up the ball, but he holds on to it too long, and then when he's meant to make the pass, he doesn't make the pass, and he loses the ball. Not necessarily in dangerous places, but what it does, it just gives that chance for the opposition to then pick up the ball and break with it. So Lacazette, he's not, he's gone 7 games without scoring, and that is just not good enough. Not for a £50 million player. It just ain't good enough. So for me, I'm gonna give Lacazette a 5. I'm gonna give Lacazette a 5. Just because of his work rate. Other than that, that's it. I'll just give Lacazette a 5. And then, obviously, he was pulled off. Arteta took him off and brought in Nketiah. And he didn't really offer much in that 15 minutes that he was on. So I'm just going to give him a standard 5. Other than that, there was no other substitution, which I'm going to talk about, because I felt that Arteta, when I give Arteta his ratings, I just felt that he needed to make his substitutions, first of all, much earlier than what he's doing. He's kind of going into those realms of the Wenger, making a substitution at 70 odd minutes. You've got to make the substitution urgently. You've got Sheffield United making early substitution, changing their formation, and he needed to react to that, and he didn't react to it. And you've got Ceballos sitting on the bench, Joe Willock sitting on the bench. For me, I would have taken off Ozil and brought on Ceballos, because Ceballos, I think, at this current time, he's more more creative than Ozil, and I think he will also, and he's more industrious as well. He works very hard. He will chase down the ball, but he can also thread those through balls to give us a chance of scoring. But obviously he didn't come on today, and you can see he's cutting a very frustrated figure at the moment. So for me, Arteta should have really, made more substitutions. He just didn't, and hence, we end up drawing the game. I'm going to give Arteta a 5. That's what I'm going to give him, a 5. I'm going to give him a bog standard 5. He just needs to make the substitutions much earlier. I don't know what he's going to go with in the Chelsea game. Do you drop Lacazette and play Martinelli down the middle, and maybe play a Reece Nelson on the left and Pepe on the right? Because at the moment I think he just needs to be taken out the firing line. I know people say no, leave him on, because if you take him off you're going to take away his confidence, right? But right now his confidence is just shot to pieces. If it was me, I'll be starting Martinelli down the centre against Chelsea, but we know it ain't going to happen. He's going to end up starting Ozil and Lacazette in that game. So I'm going to give Arteta a 5. The referee, Mike Dean, I'm giving him a 2. No, I'm giving him a 1. Penalty, there should have been a penalty on Pepe, the Sheffield United defender, basically stuck his leg out and caught Pepe. He went to VAR, and my mate was also saying that apparently that Mike Dean overrode the decision because he was near to where it happened. Now that's just joking, and you just can see where VAR is just so inconsistent. It's absolutely inconsistent. They're telling the referees, if go and look at the monitor. Now they've got the monitor, and they're advising them to go and look on the pitch monitor and look at the decision again. How can you not rule? How can you rule that out when you can see that there was contact and Pepe was tripped in the box? So for me, VAR is just really ruining the game at the moment. It is absolutely ruining the game, and so I'm going to score VAR. I'm giving VAR a -10. Yeah, VAR. I'm giving you a -10 because you're joke right now. These people in Stockley Park needs to sort this out, because the inconsistency is just absolutely ridiculous. Listen, we move on to the game on Tuesday. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. I mean, Chelsea have not got the best home record, but I mean they lost today, so their heads might be a bit down, but they will be looking to bounce back in that game. They lost in the last, I think it was the last minute of injury time against an ex-Arsenal player. I think it was Hayden that scored the goal in the sort of 93rd minute of injury time, and Chelsea ends up losing the game 1-0. So they're going to be, their heads are down, but they're going to be looking to bounce back at home. But we've just got to play on the front foot. I don't know if it's because when you're playing these top 4 sides or whatever, or top 6 sides, that we get up for the game. And when we're playing, I know Sheffield United are above us, but when we play the likes of Chelsea and Man United, we seem to get up for the games. So we really need to get up for the game, but not only do we need to get up for the game, we need to put away our chances, and it seems as if we have to win by 2 or more goals in order to secure a win. It seems like we can't defend a 1-0 lead. So not looking forward to Tuesday night, but we'll just see what happens. Look out for Transfer Daily sometime tomorrow evening, and also my preview for the Chelsea game, which hopefully I'll be doing on tomorrow as well, ready for the game on Tuesday. So please look out for those 2 videos. Listen, I'm out of here. Have a good time, and I'll see you on Tuesday for hopefully another match. Watching